Hello, and welcome to a little video about the Unit 10 quiz review. Let's get started. In number 1, we're looking at a histogram about the average annual snowfall in select U.S. cities. On the bottom, the x-axis, we have the average annual snowfall in inches. As you can see, we have frequencies, so we have little intervals. The y-axis is the number of cities. In number 1, I'd like us to find out how many cities are represented in the histogram. In order to do that, we need to add up the number of cities that fall within each bar of the histogram. Alright, the first bar has 3 cities, then 4 cities, 6, 5, and 4. When we add them together, we get 22 cities. Number 2 asks us how many cities had an average annual snowfall less than 6 inches. Let's take a look at our histogram. Here is 6 inches. Less than is on the left, which means we are adding these two bars together. 3 plus 4 is 7, so 7 cities had an average of 6 inches or less. Number 3. The ages of 22 students in a karate class are given below. Construct a dot plot to represent the ages of the students in the class. Use the number line provided. All right. The smallest number I see on this list is 5, so I'm going to start with that. You have to number the whole number line. You can't skip numbers. It doesn't matter if there's going to be numbers that don't exist on your list that are on the number line. The whole number line must be labeled, and it must be labeled in numerical order. Now what we do to construct a dot plot is we're going to go through the list of 22 numbers, and each time we see a number, we're going to put a little X or dot above that number on the number line. If you see that number more than once, we're going to stack the dots or X's. Make sure to cross the numbers off as you go, because that's the best way to not accidentally repeat yourself. Here we go. 11. So you absolutely do this at your own pace. Yeah. Okay, here's my dot plot. I don't have anything on 14, but 14 is part of the number line that I provided. In number 4, I'd like to write the 5-number summary and create a box and whisker plot for number 3. So here I have the box and whisker plot and all the 5 numbers from my 5-number summary. The first thing I'm going to do for my box and whisker plot, or just for number 4 in general, is fill out the number line, because that's an easy thing to do. So I'll start with 5. Okay. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to use my dot plot to help me write the list of numbers. I need to make sure from my 5-number summary that my numbers are listed in order from smallest to largest and as many times as they appeared in our list. Again, I like using my dot plot. I think it really organizes my data. 5-number summaries and box and whisker plots are all about the medians. All right, let's get started. I see 1 5, so I'm going to write a 5, 2 6s, 2 7s, 3 8s, 3 9s, 2 10s, 3 11s. I don't know, I said that in such a question. Oh, because there's 4. 3 12s. Whoa, I'm running out of space. I'm going to use the magic of technology. Whoops. Let's try that again. Gumin. There we go. How many 12s? 3. And 2 13s is beautimous. Okay. The first thing I like to do for my 5-number summary is the minimum and maximum because it's the easiest thing. It's the smallest and largest number. So we've got 5 and we've got 13. Great. The next thing we need to find, absolutely need to find, is the median. The way we find a median is by crossing a number off on each side of our data set until we get a number in the middle. If we end up with 2 numbers in the middle, we find their average, which means we add the 2 numbers together and divide by 2. All right, I am left with 2 numbers, 9 and 10. In order to find my median, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 9 plus 10 divided by 2. 9 plus 10 is 19. 19 divided by 2 is 9.5. My median is 9.5. It's not on my list. It's right here. Whoops, wrong color. It's right here. So I'm just going to mark it because we don't use the median when we are finding Q1 and Q3. So 9.5 is not used. Okay, onwards we go. Q1 is the median of the lower end of our data. In this case, since I wrote my list left to right, it's on the left side. So let's find the median of our left side. I'm going to do what I did to find the median of everything, cross a number off on each end of my list. Oh, how wonderful. I got an actual median. I don't have to add and divide. Our first quartile is 8. Quartile 3, similarly, is the median of the upper end of our numbers. So the bigger numbers, in this case, the right side. I'm going to cross a number off on each side until I'm left with a number in the middle. 11. Perfect. Okay. Now, what do we do with these numbers? What we're going to do is we're going to take them and draw them on our box and whisker plot. Let's begin, we'll just go in numerical order. Let's start with that 5, the minimum. I'm going to put a line above the minimum. Then I'm going to put a line above Q1, which is 8. I'm going to put a line above the median, which is 9.5. I'm going to put a line above the third quartile, which is 11. And I'm going to put a line above my maximum, which is 13. The 3 middle numbers create my box. And then we have our whiskers. There it is. Number 5, let's create a histogram for number 3. So what we have here is ages and frequencies. So let's take a look at how many ages were 4 through 5. Well, there were no 4s, and there was 1 5. So the frequency for ages 4 through 5 is 1. Let's do the same thing for 6 through 7. I'm going to add up the x's on 6 and 7, which happens to be 4 x's. So 4 people for ages 6 through 7. Let's add up 8 and 9, so that looks like 3 and 3, so 6. There were 6 8 through 9-year-olds. Let's see how many 10 to 11-year-olds we've got. Hope I'm not making you dizzy scrolling. We've got 2 and 4, so another 6. And 12 to 13-year-olds, we've got 3 and 2, so that's 5. Okay. Each of the ages are going to be a bar. It looks like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars here. So let's create 5 spots. All right, we got ages 4 through 5, 6 through 7, 8 to 9, 10 to 11, and 12 to 13. I'm going to label it as ages. On the y-axis, I'm going to have just numbers 1 through 6. And 6 is at the very top. And I'm going to label it as frequency. Okay, let's start with 4 to 5-year-olds. There was one 4 to 5-year-old, so I'm going to make a box. There were 4 6 to 7-year-olds. So 6 to 7 is 4 tall. We have 6 8 to 9-year-olds. We have 6 10 to 11-year-olds. And 5 12 to 13-year-olds. All right. There are our bars for our histogram. If yours aren't connected, that's fine. I think on my physical answer key, they are not connected. But that's okay, because I feel way more comfortable drawing these on a computer because it's easier to erase and start over. Okay, number 6. The manager of a bakery wants to compare the sales records of 2 types of cake. The table shows the number and type of each of what? Let's start that sentence over again, Ms. Gumin. The table shows the number of each type sold per day for 6 days. Velvet and swirl cake. The manager wants to determine which type of cake to display in the bakery window. She wants to choose the more popular cake based on sales. Compare the median and IQR. Which cake should the manager choose? Explain your reasoning. Okay, so first and foremost, we need to find the medians and IQRs. Let's start with the velvet cakes. The first thing I need to do is write these numbers in order from smallest to largest. Okay, so first there's 26, then 29, then 32, then 40. I missed the 39. 39, then 40, and then 42. Okay, first let's find the median. So let's find the middle. Oh, there's 2 numbers in the middle. So in order to find the median, I'm going to do 32 plus 39 divided by 2. 32 plus 39 is 71. 71 divided by 2 is 35.5. To find IQR, we need to take Q3 minus Q1. Q3 is the median of the right side of our data. So let's find the middle of the right side. It's a nice solid 40 minus Q1, which is the middle of the left side, 29. Well, 40 minus 29 is 11. That means we have at least 11 more or 11 less cakes than 35 and a half cakes, so than the median. Let's see the median and IQR for the swirl cake. Which one do you like better? You know what? I don't think I could choose. It depends on my mood. Swirl cake's just, oh, that sounds so good. I could go for a swirl cake right now. But red velvet, like, classic. Classic. Delicious with that cream cheese icing. I'm getting hungry. All right, let's keep doing these. Wow. course I'd do a problem about food. 31 is next, and then 32, then 36, then 37. Okay, let's do the same thing. Let's find the median first. That's going to be in the middle of the whole data set. We have two numbers, so we're going to add them and divide by 2. 31 plus 32 divided by 2. That's 63 divided by 2, which is 31.5. For IQR, we need to do Q3 minus Q1. So let's find Q3 and Q1. Q3 is the middle of the right side of our data, which is the bigger numbers. 36. Q1 is the middle of the left-hand side of our data, which is always the smaller side of our numbers. And there's 27. 36 minus 27 is 9. Which means there's either 9 more or 9 less swirl cakes baked. Then there's median 31.5. Okay, so which one should she choose? Yeah, the median of the swirl cake is a little smaller. However, she can depend on that swirl cake to sell because the IQR is 9. It's pretty consistent seller, right? However, she would take risk on the velvet cake. Yeah, she has a higher median, but she could potentially have 11 less or 11 more. But think about it. What's 11 less than 35 and a half? And what's 9 less than 31.5? Which one should she choose? I think she should choose the swirl because I think it's just more dependable. I think the velvet cake might be more popular. Actually, I think it might be more popular. Yeah. I'm gonna go with, well, I know my answer key says swirl, but I don't know, I feel like it's velvet cake this time. Because even though the spread is larger and there is more risk, the smallest she's ever sold of it is 26. The IQR, if we do 35.5 minus 11, that's 24. Versus 31.5 minus 9, which is 22. I'm going to go with velvet. Even though, you know what, I'm going to say velvet cake because of the higher median. Even though it has a larger IQR, um, 11 less than its median is still more than the swirl. I'm going to change that on my answer key for those folks who like to use my physical key. Yeah, I think I agree with Miss Gumin from right now than Miss Gumin from before spring break. She must have been tired. Yeah. All right. Let's continue. Okay. The next part, you are going to need a calculator. Okay. In number 7, you have two options for me, or 7, 8, and 9. You have two options to find the mean. Remember that the mean is our little X with a hat. You can either add up all the numbers and divide by the amount of numbers on our list, or you can use your calculator. Please refer to your notes to remind yourself how to find the mean with the calculator and the standard deviation with your calculator. Make sure when you're typing it, you are selecting to use the squiggly brackets and that you're using commas. All right, double check. I'm going to write down the answers here. I can't really project a calculator. I don't have that anymore. We used to have a program that emulated our fancy calculators, but we just don't have that subscription anymore. If you'd like me to show you how to do it, I'm happy to do that for you. But I'm not going to be helping you press the buttons on the test. So you're going to have to know how to use your calculator. So I'm going to write down the answers. If you don't get the same ones, call me over. Okay? So in number 7, I have a mean of 88.27 and a standard deviation of 7.46. Please practice typing this. This is muscle memory. Just writing this down from the video is not going to help you. All right, number 8. The mean is 48.17 and the standard deviation is 25.14. Finally, in number 9, my mean is 12.81 and my standard deviation is 1.93. Be very careful typing this one. You do need to include both decimals and commas. Don't mix them up. It's really easy to do so. All right. Please call me over if you need help with the calculator. Today, or whichever day you're doing this review on, before the quiz. Okay? On the quiz, I won't be able to help you. Not with that part. Okay, so good luck. Have a wonderful rest of whatever day it is for you.